There is a hidden, nearly invisible detail that the vast majority of men completely miss whenever they go in to hug a woman. It is a subtle, split-second mistake, but it is absolutely fatal to attraction because it instantly signals to her subconscious mind that you lack true masculine energy and confidence. Most men are completely blind to this reality, assuming a hug is just a polite greeting or a casual gesture that doesn't require any thought. The truth is very few men actually know how to hug a woman correctly, and this single blind spot quietly sabotages their chances before a conversation even begins. They walk around wondering why they constantly get stuck in the friend zone or why women seem to lose interest so quickly, never realizing that their very first physical interaction sent a loud, clear signal of weakness straight to her primal instincts. This happens because most guys are simply following a broken, outdated social script that society handed them. One that teaches men to be overly cautious, hesitant, and hyper-aware of political correctness, rather than being grounded and intentional. They approach physical contact with a mountain of unspoken anxiety, treating the moment like a delicate social obligation they need to get over with, rather than an opportunity to establish a genuine masculine connection. In this video, I am going to completely dismantle that broken script and break down the 3 most common types of hugs that men give every single day, exposing the exact psychological mistakes behind them and showing you precisely what each one communicates about your value, your confidence, and your presence to her subconscious mind. But we aren't just stopping at the mistakes. More importantly, we are going to pull back the curtain on the highly elusive 4th type of hug, the master framework that completely separates the select few men who instantly stick in a woman's memory from the endless sea of guys who are easily forgotten the second they walk away. This specific technique is the ultimate game changer for building intense unspoken attraction. Yet almost no one in the modern dating world talks about it because they don't understand the deep psychological mechanics behind physical touch. If you want to stop being perceived as just another nice forgettable guy and start projecting undeniable masculine authority from the very first second you touch a woman's hand or shoulder, you need to throw out everything you think you know about affection. Lock in, eliminate all distractions, and pay close attention to every word because once you see this invisible mistake, you will never look at social interactions the same way again. I'm Sally, an expert in female psychology and social dynamics, and my sole purpose here is to cut through the noise and tell you exactly what women actually feel, experience, and desire but will almost never say out loud to your face. I am giving it to you straight up with absolutely zero judgment because you deserve to know how the female mind really operates behind closed doors. First, I need you to take a deep breath and understand one crucial thing. If you have messed up physical contact or misread a woman's signals in the past, it is genuinely not your fault. Think about it. Nobody ever actually sat you down to teach you the fundamental principles of physical contact, masculine touch, or somatic attraction. Instead, you were left to figure it out through trial and error, completely blind to the silent biological forces that dictate human connection while society fed you fairy tales that don't work in the real world. Today, we throw that old manual in the trash and look at the raw, unfiltered reality of how attraction works. Here is the foundational reality that you must permanently burn into your mind if you want to succeed with women. Women feel first and they think much later. While you are standing there completely trapped in your own head, overthinking the moment, frantically analyzing the situation, and weighing all the pros and cons of what to say next, her biology has already made up its mind about you. Long before she processes your job title, your clothes, or your jokes, her limbic system, the oldest, most primitive survival part of the human brain, has already registered exactly how she feels in your immediate physical presence. It is a raw, instinctual, and purely biological process that happens entirely beneath her conscious awareness, meaning she couldn't change it even if she wanted to. A hug is so incredibly powerful because it completely bypasses the protective walls of logic, rational conversation, and social politeness, going straight to that primitive emotional command center. In less than 4 seconds of physical contact, a woman's body automatically answers a series of deep, foundational questions that she doesn't even consciously know she is asking. Her nervous system instantly reads your posture, your tension, and your pressure to determine 3 major things. Does this man make me feel genuinely safe? Does he possess a real, grounded presence? Does he actually know exactly who he is as a man? You need to understand that this physical test is entirely pass or fail. You can be the funniest, most interesting, and highly successful guy in the room with a flawless resume. But if your physical delivery fails during those crucial 4 seconds of contact, her biological instincts will completely override her logical mind. Her body will flag you as insecure, hesitant, or ungrounded, and no amount of clever conversation will ever fix that initial physiological rejection. If this deep dive into the biological reality of attraction is opening your eyes and making sense to you right now, go ahead and hit that like button, so I know we are on the exact right track to transforming your dating life. Let's look directly at the specific behaviors you must absolutely avoid at all costs if you want a woman to ever feel attraction towards you. Error number 1 is what I call the weak hug, and it is arguably the most common mistake men make in the modern dating world. This happens when you go in for a hug, but your arms barely make contact with her body. Your hips stay 10 miles away, and the actual physical pressure you apply is basically zero. It is that hesitant, tentative touch, where you act like you are afraid you are going to break her. Or worse, you resort to that awkward, overly polite courtesy side hug, where you only use one arm and keep a massive wall of space between you. Psychologically, this instantly communicates a profound level of uncertainty, fear, and a total lack of masculine presence. You think you are being a nice guy or being respectful, but her subconscious mind immediately translates that weak touch as a lack of self-confidence and an underlying fear of women. She will subconsciously assume that if you are too timid to simply hold her firmly for a brief moment, you lack the core strength and conviction to handle anything else in life. And that negative feeling will stick to you like glue long after the interaction ends. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, error number 2 is the aggressive hug, and it is just as destructive to your chances. This is the guy who confuses toxic overcompensation with actual masculine intensity. This happens when you step in and squeeze her way too hard, trapping her in a suffocating grip, holding on to her long past the point of basic comfort, or letting your hands awkwardly wander to inappropriate places for that specific moment. You might think you are showing dominant energy, but in reality, it is nothing more than a blatant invasion of her personal space that triggers immediate discomfort and sets off her internal alarm bells. The second you force that kind of unwanted intensity, her nervous system locks up and a screening question pops up in her mind. Does this guy even respect my basic boundaries? The moment that seed of doubt and safety concern appears in a woman's mind, any potential attraction you had built up vanishes instantly, replaced entirely by a desire to get away from you as fast as possible. Finally, error number 3 is the highly underrated, but deeply damaging ghost hug. This is a massive trap because it is incredibly subtle, yet women pick up on it every single time. The ghost hug happens when you are physically holding her, but your mind is completely somewhere else. Your body is going through the motions, but you are looking around the room, your muscles are incredibly tense, you are holding your breath, or you abruptly cut the hug short and snap away like you just accidentally touched a blazing hot stove. This is physical presence without real authentic mental presence. You are physically there, but your energy is completely detached, distracted, or anxious. When you do this, she instantly feels completely insignificant, as if she is just a chore or a box you are ticking off on a soulful checklist. Feeling like she matter, or that you aren't truly with her in that exact second, is often far worse than giving a weak hug, because it proves you lack the grounded confidence to just lock into the present moment and share a genuine human connection with her. Now, let's shift our focus to the master blueprint, the real masculine hug. This is the exact physiological and psychological framework that completely changes the game, rewriting how a woman perceives you in a matter of seconds. This specific dynamic of raw presence, unshakable confidence, and deep physical connection is the exact material I dive deep into within my complete guide, Secrets of Attraction. To execute this correctly, you must completely erase all hesitation from your body and understand that your approach has to be firm, entirely intentional, and deeply grounded from the very start. You do not step forward tentatively, look for permission with your eyes, or wait around for her to dictate the terms of the interaction. As the man, you take the initiative, and you lead the interaction with absolute certainty. Before your arms even make contact with her body, you need to firmly plant your feet on the ground with real physical stability. This is a crucial psychological trigger, because in the realm of female attraction, physical stability directly communicates emotional stability. If your posture is weak, or you are shifting your weight nervously, her subconscious flags you as unstable. But when you stand like an unmovable rock, her system instantly registers that you are a man who can handle pressure. Once you have established that grounded base, the mechanics of the touch itself must be deliberate and precise. You want to smoothly place one hand firmly between her shoulder blades, and your other hand right in the middle of her lower back. By doing this, you are effectively framing her body and signaling that you have complete control of the physical space, which is highly attractive to a woman's primal instincts. Bring your chest all the way to hers, closing that awkward gap completely, and apply a constant comfortable pressure. There should be absolutely zero crushing or aggressive squeezing that makes her feel trapped, but at the exact same time, there should be no limp hesitation or backing away, either. It is a confident, secure hold that says you are entirely comfortable in your own skin and entirely comfortable being close to her. You are establishing a safe container with your body, creating a momentary sanctuary where she can let go of her own social armor and simply lean into your strength. Crucially, throughout this entire interaction, you must remember to breathe deeply and naturally. This might sound incredibly simple, but it is actually the secret weapon that most men completely forget when they get nervous around an attractive woman. When you hold your breath, your muscles lock up, your heart rate spikes, and your body transmits a silent signal of panic straight through your skin. Breathing deeply keeps your nervous system completely relaxed, and relaxation is highly contagious. Human beings are biologically wired to mirror the physiological states of the people they are touching, meaning that if you are genuinely calm, grounded, and breathing easy, her body will automatically respond by relaxing into you, dropping her defenses and matching your calmness. This effortless transfer of calm, dominant energy is what makes a woman feel an overwhelming sense of safety and magnetic attraction in your arms, proving to her biological core that you are a high-value man who possesses true presence. The absolute pinnacle of this entire interaction comes down to one critical phase that most men completely butcher, the flawless exit. You can execute the approach, the posture, and the hold perfectly, but if you fumble the release, the entire illusion of your masculine confidence shatters instantly. To pull this off masterfully, you first need to understand the concept of ideal timing. The sweet spot for a real masculine hug is precisely 2 to 4 seconds. This specific duration is a psychological sweet spot because it is entirely intentional. It is absolutely not that frantic, rushed, submissive pat on the back tap that instantly lands you in the platonic friend zone. But it is also not a lingering awkward eternity that makes her feel trapped or uncomfortable. It is just enough time for her nervous system to settle, register your strength, and realize that you know exactly what you are doing as a man. Yet, it cuts off right at the peak of the connection, leaving her wanting just a little bit more. Most importantly, you must be the one who ends the hug, not her. This is a subtle, but massive demonstration of social power and self-restraint. When you wait for a woman to pull away first, you are subconsciously signaling that you are needy, that you are trying to consume her energy, and that you want to hang on as long as she will let you. By being the one to initiate the release, you communicate that you are completely self-sufficient, non-needy, and entirely in control of your desires. When those 2 to 4 seconds are up, you smoothly and calmly let go, allowing your hands to naturally and softly slide all the way down her arms as you step back. This lingering gentle friction maintains the physical connection for a split second longer, creating a highly charged spike of anticipation and tension, rather than a cold, abrupt break. As you create that physical distance, you must look directly into her eyes. Do not look down at the floor. Do not look away nervously. And do not break your posture. Maintain strong, unshakable, direct eye contact. And offer her a relaxed, slow, and authentic smile. This exact moment, the transition from the physical touch back to face-to-face communication, is just as powerful and telling as the way you started the interaction. It proves that you are completely comfortable with the intimacy you just shared, and that you aren't intimidated by her reaction. You need to remember that every single hug you give is a direct preview of your overall character, acting as a profound micro-expression of the kind of man you are behind closed doors. If you are frantic and awkward at the end, she assumes you are frantic and awkward in life. If you are smooth, grounded, and composed, her subconscious flags you as a high-value man. Starting today, you hold a massive psychological advantage that 99% of men will never possess, simply because they are completely blind to the fact that these tiny physical details even matter. They will keep guessing, while you execute with precision. If you want to continue pulling back the curtain on female psychology and learn exactly how to build authentic, undeniable attraction from the ground up, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell right now. Next week, I am going to be sharing another deeply buried hidden secret about human behavior. Something that women feel on a daily basis, but can almost never explain out loud to a man. Stay grounded, practice what you learned today, and I will see you in the next video.